Space, the final frontier.
Hello, listeners. We're back with a special guest in our virtual studio. Today we have Dr. Philip Plait, aka the Bad Astronomer. Hello and welcome, Dr. Plait.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
What's the biggest or most important thing going on in astronomy?
The biggest and most important thing. There are a couple of things. The most important one scientifically, I think, might be the investigation of dark matter and dark energy, because these are two aspects of the universe that we don't understand very well. Dark matter is a type of matter that is dark. We can't see it, but we can see its effects. And we're pretty sure it's out there. There's tons of evidence for it. There are some alternative theories, but I don't think they hold any water, at least not yet. There's not enough evidence for them. But we don't know what dark matter is. We don't know, is it particles that we don't understand or what it is? And dark energy is even worse because we haven't really characterized it as well as even dark matter. And it's some sort of thing that's out there that is making the expansion of the universe get faster every day. We know the universe is getting bigger every day. We've known that since early in the 20th century. But it was only in 1998 when it was discovered that expansion is accelerating. It's getting faster. And we don't know anything about this. And so these kind of studies are probably the most important scientifically. I think the most important one popularly, and may in the long run be more important even scientifically, is the search for planets around other stars. This was first discovered, planets around stars like the Sun, in 1995. And in just a few years, we have over 300 of these things known. And we're getting so good at it that the masses of these things are getting lower and lower, the kind that we can find. And we are right on the thin, hairy edge of finding a planet with the mass of the Earth orbiting a star at about the same distance the Earth is. NASA just launched the Kepler mission, which is looking for planets like this. When they pass in front of the starlight dips just a little bit. And Kepler can see that. And if an Earth-like planet is orbiting a Sun-like star, it'll be able to detect this. So in a couple of years, we may actually know of a dozen of planets like this.
I know some of the advancements in the science and the mathematics involved to do these discoveries are quite inspiring. You have a new book out, well, it was published late last year, called Death from the Skies. These are the ways the world will end. Now, forgive me for saying this, but this title doesn't seem to be a standard skeptical type book. It sounds a little apocalyptic.
In fact, one of the things I do is I try to fight people who are scaring people for a living in thinking that the Earth is going to come to an end because of the Mayan prophecy of 2012, or back in 2003, people who thought a Planet X was going to sweep by the Earth and kill us all. There's all these people out there trying to do this, but that's all nonsense. What my book is solid science, talking about asteroid impacts, talking about solar flares or the eventual death of the sun, a nearby supernova, all of the realistic scientific ways that I could think of that could damage or destroy life on Earth. Now, the idea of a black hole passing through the solar system and gobbling down the Earth, the odds of that happening even over the next trillion years are essentially zero. But it's kind of a fun thing to think about. And you can say, look, what is a black hole? How do they work? What would happen if it did pass through the Earth? The whole time, though, I'm also saying the odds of this happening are essentially zero. Don't worry about this. Worry more about asteroid impacts, which have a much higher chance of happening, but in fact, we can do something about to prevent.
Essentially, your book is different from those other ones because you take the scientific approach.
Yeah, mine's real.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got the math and the science to back mine up. I'm just not making stuff up.
Is there one thing you wanted people to take away after reading your book?
There are two takeaway messages from my book, and they're sort of opposite sides of the same coin, and that is that the odds of a black hole passing by the Earth, a star exploding near the Earth, all that kind of stuff, the odds of these happening are so low, you just don't have to worry about it. The flip side of it is that the things that can and will happen, an asteroid impact or a giant solar flare, are things that we can do something about. And so honestly, the things that are really super scary, you don't have to worry about. And what we should be worrying about are the things that we can actually do something about. That's what I want people to understand.
So the CERN is not a big issue for you, and space exploration, getting the diaspora of humanity in space, you think is a good thing?
Well, I'm not too concerned if you're talking about the Large Hadron Collider creating a quark nugget or a mini black hole. No, it's not going to happen. But yeah, I would like to see us getting into space. I don't think it's a practical matter to spread humanity to the stars just yet. But I would like to see a moon base. I would like to see us visiting near Earth asteroids, which turns out to be actually a lot easier to do than getting them to the moon, which is kind of surprising. And making sure that if something does happen to the Earth, we do have humanity spread out someplace else so that we can continue.